Hello everyone and welcome, it's me Kurtis. In this video we're going to be talking about GroovePages 2.0. I'm going to be doing a demo for you showing what's changed and where everything is so that you can be up to speed and carry on building your websites. So let's jump straight into GroovePages 2.0. Okay, so we're in GroovePages. Let's start making sense of these updates. So first I'm going to go in and create a new website. So the first change you'll see is the update to the template library. As you can see, it's much more advanced. We've got options for the types of websites, so single pages, complete, funnels, webinars, etc. We've also got campaign types, which are sort of the category of the website, the topic if you will. And we've got tags as well, as you can see. So very useful to find the perfect template site if that's what you're wanting to start with. You can also search the templates here. I'm just going to pick a random one for us to start with. So we'll select a template site and import that. As you can see, it takes us straight into the builder. And as you've already probably noticed, there's a lot of changes to the layout. As before, we had the big navbar on the left hand side here. Now all we have here is these 4 buttons, which I'll be going through shortly. But first, I'm just going to show a couple of small quality of life changes. First of all, we have the option to name the website from up here. So we can do that and click out of the box. Hit save. Now we've changed the name of the website in our builder, simple as that. Also we have the name of the page which we are currently editing here. So as before there was a drop down here, we now have the name of the page here and the list of pages is on the assets menu, which we'll be going through shortly. Okay, so a couple more small changes before we go through this new sidebar. You may notice most of this top navbar is essentially the same. However, if we jump into the publish menu, you notice we now have the option to manage domains, which will bring up a pop-up to manage our custom domains. Also the hosting options are in this menu here, as we may not always need them. So once you've published your website to a custom domain, without pressing anything, this is all that will show up. So you simply have the options to publish and update your website. It's simplified and a little less confusing, I think. Now let's move on to the new sidebar, showing what each of these buttons do and how we use them. So the first button here, this is for elements. So if we open that menu up, as you can see, we've got categorized elements and all elements here as we can scroll through. So just a little quality of life update. Obviously we didn't have categories before, it was all in one big menu. So now say we want a button, we can select that. We do have some designed elements as well, as you can see. So that's pretty useful. We can also access the standard non-formatted options here on the subcategory. I believe buttons is the only one to have that designer subcategory. So if we jump through a few of them, as you can see, them all being categorized, it just makes it a bit easier to find exactly what you want to add to your website. Okay, so another interesting update in regards to elements. We can now save individual elements for reusing them on a different page or a different place on our website. So I think this will be most useful for buttons. You can go through, format it exactly how you want it, change a few colours and change the text a little bit. As you can see, we've got a bit of different formatting on that. Now we can go ahead and select that, and we've got the new pop-up menu here. If we go to the star icon, we now have the option to save the element, and we've got to give it a custom name, so just call it that, and then we can save it in buttons or anywhere we want to. We can create a new section if we're creating a bunch of elements for our website. We'll just save this in buttons. And as you can see in the bottom left, that's now saved. So we'll jump back to the elements menu and we save that in buttons. And we now have another subcategory which is saved. And as you can see, we can now drag this in anywhere on our website. Like so. Okay, so we'll now move on to the next button on this sidebar. This is another new feature, global blocks. It's incredibly useful for saving a single block or a set of blocks for use on multiple pages or even multiple websites. So let's jump in using the plus icon and create one. So this will not close our website, but it will bring up another page essentially for us to create multiple blocks to add to this global block. So let's jump in and add a couple of blocks. As you can see, we've got a new menu for the blocks as well. They are all categorized. It's a bit easier to find what you want, but we're just going to select a couple of generic blocks to add in. As you can see, we've added a couple of blocks to this. We can now format these exactly how we want, changing the text, colours, pictures and anything else. Once we've done all that, we can hit save and exit up here. Give that a moment, and that will take us back to our website, and we now have the global block saved here. So you can't actually add them from here. There is a new way to add blocks to your website, which I'll show you right now. So what you need to do is select any block on your website. So if you go to the breadcrumbs menu down at the bottom, just make sure you've got a block selected. As you can see, we've got two plus icons, one above, one below. That allows you to add a block in either of these gaps, like so. Once we do that, we now have the subcategory global blocks here. That is where we would add our global block into the website. As you can see, that's straight in, easy. Now if we click on this, you notice we can't actually edit this global block from within the page builder. We would click this button here and jump back to the global block editor. The idea is that this is meant to stay the same no matter what, so you can't make any accidental edits, but you can still edit it globally. Okay, so next up we have the assets button. If we click this, we get a pop-up. Basically this is everything pertaining to your website, so the pages, funnels, webinars and pop-ups. This is essentially how it was before, but they were all separate buttons. This just makes the navigation a little bit easier. Other than that, it's essentially the same. So onto the final button on the sidebar. This is the settings menu. So on here we have the same things we had before essentially. We have page settings at the top, site settings, share site, export site, and the instant edit bookmarklet. So these are mostly all the same options we had before on the previous GroovePages version with the larger sidebar. However, there are a couple of new features, so let's go through those. So as you can see, everything is subcategorized now, and if we jump into the SEO subcategory, we have most of the same options. However, you will see SEO score. This is a new feature. If we click here, as you can see, it gives our individual pages an SEO health score. This is very useful to people who haven't done much site creation or don't know much about SEO. It will give you basic attributes to focus on, including the use of different types of headers, image alt text, a word count and a link count, titles for your links, numbers of unique links, and it will let you know if there are any duplicate links on your page. So not all of these are very important, but some of them, so the headings and the image alt text, can be very useful for SEO on your page. So as you can see just under the score as well, it gives us recommendations to improve this score. If we click through, as you can see there, it's just warning us about the same things which have the exclamation mark down here. So don't worry about this too much, it doesn't have to be a solid 9 out of 9. However, if you get at least the heading tags, image alt text and a good amount of total words and links on the page, you should be okay. Then your page should rank decently, purely based on SEO. Obviously this doesn't include anything about keywords, keyword research, anything like that. Also on these page settings we have a couple of new options. So we have page backups, which I believe will save previous versions of this web page should you make any changes. Also we have the option to save this as a template in case you're wanting to use this on another website. Okay, so now onto the site settings. As you can see, everything is still subcategorized, and we just have all the options that we had on the previous GroovePages version. Okay, so that's the new sidebar explained. There's a couple more little updates which I will go through. Okay, so if we select an element which had a config menu, so for example a button, image, logo, anything like that, as you can see when we click on it, on the sidebar on the right we no longer have the config menu here. I believe that is being added back in, but for now what we do is we select the cog icon down here, and that brings up the same menu as we would have had on the config menu previously. Once you've changed your settings here, click update. I like to click the tick as well just to be sure it's saved. However, you need to click the cross after this to close that menu. So finally we have another new useful feature. So we'll go ahead and select a block. Say you're wanting to use this block on another page, but you don't want to recreate the entire page, we can now copy this block by adding it to the clipboard. So we have the little clipboard icon here. If we click that, then we can go to another page and I'll show you how to add that in. So we're now on another page on our website. Let's see how we add that block in that we've just added to clipboard. So click the plus icon to add in a new block. And as you can see on the subcategories, we now have the clipboard here. And we can select that and it will be added into our web page. So this is sort of a quick way to copy a single block. It's not saved permanently. I believe it's just in that clipboard menu until the end of your session. However, it may still be useful when creating your website. Okay, so that's it for this Groove Builders video with me, Kurtis. Do be sure to like and share the video as it helps us grow. Comment with any thoughts or questions. Follow us on our socials as seen on screen, and I'll see you in the next one.